Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial, and today's tutorial will be about limiting the download speeds of certain file types. So the first thing that you need to do is to go to IP, firewall, and click on layer 7 protocol. And we are going to create a few regular expression that will be used to match the certain file types. They call them regular expression matchers. So what I'm going to do next is to go to a terminal, because based on the number of file types, I'm going to use a script to create the regular expression matchers. This script will be placed in the description of the video, so you don't need to worry. It will be provided. So I'm going to just copy the script and just paste, enter, and this is the regular expressions that are created. So we have one for archive files, that is like zip files, WinRAR files, 7-zips and so forth. We have audio files where you have your MP3, your WAV file, and documents, PDF, docs, docx, Excel documents, and video. We have all the different type of video format. So what I did was I went and researched the different extensions for all these file types and compiled them. So you don't need to worry about it. It will find all the different, or the most common file types for each type of file, like video, documents, audio, and archive. After creating these, the next step is to create some modular rules that will be used to identify the file types. So the first modular rule that I'm going to add, go to general, and the chain should be forward, and because this is, I'm going to match for download, I'm going to use a destination address. So destination address would be the address of your router. So my router IP is in the range of 192.168.88, and because we want to match it to all the addresses within this subnet, I'm going to use a /24 because that is what my network is. Next, I'm going to go to action, and I'm going to mark this rule as a connection, and I'm going to call this download con, and I'm going to leave pass through checked. I'm going to put a comment on it. Okay. Next, I'm going to create another rule, same forward, and for connection I'm going to choose the download connection, click on advanced, and I'm going to select my layer 7 protocol. And so the first one that I'm going to use is archives, which is like zip files, action, mark pockets, and I'm going to call this archive. So archive pockets, uncheck pass through. I'm going to put a comment on this so I can know what the rule is. Okay. And I'm going to do it again for the other file types. So I'm going to use a connection, protocol, audio this time, and then mark pockets. I'm going to add a comment. Okay. So I'm going to repeat this step for all the different file types. So this one now is for documents, and mark pockets. Let's call this doc pockets. Disable pass through. And the last one is So last one is video, for video files. So I'm going to mark these pockets also. Add a comment. And then one last one, we're going to create a new connection for all upload traffic. So we can also manage our upload. So forward, but this time we're going to use a source address, because the source meaning that a client is actually sending data to the internet, so it will be the source. So in 192.168.88.0/24, and action is mark connection. I'm going to call this upload, and this is a connection, so I'm just going to label it as such. For connections, you do not uncheck pass-through, because you want, when the traffic pass through the connections, you are able to mark it as a packet. So you see, I made a mistake right here. This should be a packet. So always look back at your rules just to make sure you haven't made any mistakes, because yeah, it's common to make a mistake with these rules, especially when you have to do a lot of repeats. So I'm going to mark the upload traffic, and I'm not using any layer 7 regular expression for this, because this is a general upload traffic. So I want to manage those two. So I'm going to mark these as upload packets. I'm going to uncheck pass-through, add a comment, and one last one. This is for any other traffic that is downloaded that is not of a certain file type, and this is just for everything else, everything that is not archive or video or audio or documents. So I'm going to create this one. I'm going to use a download connection, but I'm not going to use any layer 7 protocol. And what I'm going to do is to just mark the pockets and call this other packets, uncheck pass-through, and I'm going to move this rule right up above upload. So all of these are download. The next step is we're going to create some queues, and I'm going to use queue trees. So click on queues and click on Q3 tab, and I'm going to create some queues for this. So the first queue that I'm going to create is the one that will manage the entire bandwidth. So I'm going to call this all bandwidth, and the max limit is the speed, the maximum speed of your connection. This will be the speed of your upload plus your download. So say for instance the total speed of my connection is say 10 megabits per second. That is, say for instance, say it's 9 down and 1 up, so you'd combine those and give it 10. It is best to set the max limit at least a megabit per second or 2 more than what it is. So I'm going to set mine to 12 as the max limit. So although the connection may be at 10 megabits per second, it's best to set it a little bit higher just in case your ISP provide burst, allow your connection to burst. So I'll leave it at 12. Next, I'm going to create a queue now for downloads, and I'm going to allocate 8. I'm going to allocate 10 megabits to download traffic. And one thing I should do is to change the parent to all bandwidth. So this will be a child of the all bandwidth. So any traffic that is is passing through all download will be reflected in all bandwidth. I'm going to add the queues now for the different file types. So the first queue that I'm going to create is archives, and the parent now is downloads, and the packet mark is archives, and I'm going to set the max limit. So say for instance we're given this 2 megabit, and for the queue type now, this is based on personal preference. If you want to use just the default queue, you can use that, or you can use PCQ, where it divides the bandwidth equally based on the number of users. So it depends on what you need. But I've covered these in some previous tutorial about bandwidth management, so you could look back at those tutorials. I'm going to put some link to those tutorials in the description of this video. So if you want to go back and look at them, you can. So we're going to add the others. Call this one audio, and the parent is downloads, packet is audio, and I'm going to set these limit as 2 megabits for all of these. So documents and all bandwidth, documents, and the parent should be downloads, right? And we have video, and the parent should be downloads, and the pocket mark should be videos. So guys, please pay special attention to your selection or what you have entered in the queue type, because this is one of the areas where a lot of persons make mistakes, and any mistakes that is made in here, your queue will prevent your queue from working properly. The last one for download would be other, and this will be any other traffic that is not of any of these file types. So I'm going to select download and other, and this now I'm going to give this, say, 8 megabits per second. So I'm going to give this majority of the bandwidth, and also what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it at a higher priority, which is priority 5, so other downloads will have more priority over all of these file types. That is something that you can adjust based on personal preference. And the last queue that I'm going to create is the queue for upload. So I'm going to select all bandwidth. I'm not going to select any pocket type, pocket mark, and the limit, say the limit of our upload speed is 1 megabit. And so what you can do is, I'm going to there are two ways you can do it. You can create another rule and place it under this, or you can just use the existing upload queue and put a pocket mark directly on it, and that will reduce the number of queues that you have. And we can set the priority, can leave the priority as is. So this is the queues. So let me just quickly run through what I've done before. So the first thing that I did was to create the regular expressions, or what they call the regex matches, and after which I created the Modular Rules. And the first Modular Rule is to mark all download traffic, and then what I did was to identify each traffic type based on the layer 7 protocol, and I'm going to match all of these and then mark the traffic as say archive, audio, documents and video, and then anything else that doesn't match these rules will be matched in this. So say for instance you are on YouTube watching a video, it will be matched in this rule, because this rule doesn't have a regular expression. So anything that is not matched up here will be matched in this rule. And then we created a rule, a Mongo rule for upload, and this Mongo rule will just capture any traffic that is uploaded, and then we mark the pockets for those traffic. And lastly, we created the queues, and the first queue of all bandwidth will be the queue that accounts for your total download plus your total upload. So as you see here, I have 10 and I have 1. So typically I'm actually below the max bandwidth. So what I can do is that I can even set this as 12, my download as 12, although the maximum bandwidth is 12, but what that will do is allow me to maximize my connection by utilizing any burst that my ISP is providing. So you can do something similar to this, because you will not get any speed that is faster than the total bandwidth up here. Alright, so I'm going to do a test and see how these queues work. So I'm going to just reset the counters. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on to thinkbroadband.com. So this is the site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download a test file and see what's happening. Alright, so file is being downloaded. So if let me just move this window out of the way. So now the queue that was configured for archives is showing that the user is currently downloading some sort of archive file, but this file is the file that I'm downloading is a zip file. So we can confirm that the queue, the rules and the queues are working. So if I play a video, so I'm going to go over to YouTube and I'm just going to play a video, and so the video is loading. So now I should see some traffic on the other. Yes, so now we are seeing the download traffic on the other. So YouTube browsing and other stuff would be shown in the other connection. So archive is because we are still downloading the file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop this video and just going to cancel the download. Alright, so we'll see where this is not this queue is not active anymore. Yeah, one important thing to note is that this will only work for HTTP traffic, not HTTPS. Remember, this will only work for HTTP traffic, because HTTPS traffic is encrypted. We are unable to identify the packets that are flowing within that connection. So remember, this will only work on HTTP traffic. That's it for this tutorial. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please remember to do so. So thanks for watching.